Hello everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. So in today's video I will be talking about the full moon that occurs in the sign of Scorpio on the 27th of April. Now this full moon is also called the super full moon in Scorpio because it is really bright and appears larger than the usual full moon. Now this full moon is occurring in Scorpio at 7 degrees roughly. So full moon is a time when the moon is opposite the sun, and during this time, during this full moon in Scorpio, sun will be in Taurus, which is the opposite sign to Scorpio. Now full moon is fully illuminated in the sign of Scorpio, so it can bring up intense emotional reactions. Now Scorpio is a water sign, it's an emotional water sign. It also has a tendency to be enchanting and also obsessive where the relationship and emotions are concerned. Now full moons are anyways very emotionally heightened time. So with the full moon in Scorpio, the emotional, it's almost like there's a double emphasis on the emotions during this particular Scorpio full moon. Now what can happen during this Scorpio full moon is that it can throw us off center. It can unsettle us a little bit. Now moon in the sign of Scorpio is considered in its fall. So what it means is that moon is not particularly comfortable in intense Scorpio. Now moon is our emotion, it's our mind, and in the sign of Scorpio it finds it difficult to convey its emotions, to express itself. It finds it difficult to find a productive and constructive way of releasing emotions and expressing it. Now if you can channel this Scorpio full moon energy in the correct way, then you can expect a lot of positive outcome due to this Scorpio full moon. Now full moon is the time when the moon is at the peak of illumination because it's opposite the sun and it's getting the full rays, the full energy of the sun, and it's really bright. It's a time of great clarity and understanding of what's happening in your life in the area where it's the sign of Scorpio is in your chart. Now sun is in the sign of Taurus during this full moon, which is a very earthy, sensible and stable sign, and moon is in Scorpio, which is about revelations in terms of your emotional revelation and in terms of your emotional expression of how you want to release that emotional energy. Now this can be a very purposeful and emotional time for people, especially if you have personal planets in the sign of Scorpio, especially if it's very close to this full moon, which is 7 degrees Scorpio. If you got planets near this degree, say for example from 4 degree to 10 degrees, if you got very closely associated with this full moon, you will feel this effect a little bit more on a personal level. Now during this full moon, along with sun in Taurus, there is also Mercury, Venus, Uranus. All these are forming a stellium in the sign of Taurus, and you have Saturn and Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius. So with all this opposing energy to this full moon, you can expect some internal conflict and emotional even outbursts. If the relationship is not emotionally stable, you can expect some kind of conflict in terms of relationship, and the relationship is not just your spousal relationship. It could be any relationship. It could be with your parents, your colleagues, your work, your friends, your siblings. In any relationship that is affecting in your chart, it could be related to that. So it's not just your marriage. Now Taurus and Scorpio, the polarity of Taurus and Scorpio has also got to do with finances. It's also about resources. It's about what is mine and what is yours. So it's about personal finances as well as joint finances. So you could expect some kind of revelations in these themes, in these areas as well in your life. Now Scorpio is a very loyal, very resilient, very devoted sign, just like Taurus is. Taurus is also very stable, earthy and very dependable sign. The only difference is that the Scorpio understands the nuances of human relationship more on deeper and more on emotional level than a Taurus would. Now with the full moon occurring in the sign of Scorpio, your deepest fears and deepest emotions will come to the surface, and you will have to deal with it, and you will have chance to improve and work through this energy. If there is something that is not serving you in your life, you will have this opportunity to release that and move on to the next thing. And it's like wringing out the old and bringing in the new. So you will have that opportunity during this full moon if the relationship is not serving and it's not doing, it's not progressing you in life. So now let's begin with each sign and what this full moon in Scorpio will have effect on each of the 12 zodiac sign. So we begin with the sign of Aries. Now for you, Aries, the full moon occurs in your 8th house. Now 8th house is the house of your joint finances. It's the house of resources of your the other person, or the social finances. It's a very intimate house. It's also related to your intimacy with your partner and any kind of intimate relationship that you have. So with full moon occurring here, you will have this opportunity to take any relationship that you have currently in your life to the next level, to understand it more on the deeper level. You will have anything that was lying under the surface, that was hidden from you, will emerge, and you will have better understanding of these themes in your life. And that is to do with your joint finances, your intimate relationship, all these things. So you will have this opportunity during this full moon in Scorpio. Now for you, Aries, the Scorpio is in the 8th house, so Taurus is obviously on the opposite side in your 2nd house. So this is the money axis, and it is all about resources, your resources and your partner's resources. Now Scorpio here is also reveals things regarding investment and long-term investment, or any kind of resource and money related themes with your partner, and it gives you a bit opportunity to trust and consolidate on the relationship regarding these matters. So you have this opportunity to trust your partner more, and because things will be more clear to you during this time. Now you will have better understanding of what is loyalty and intimacy and trust is during this time, Aries. Do give yourself the opportunity to involve yourself and indulge yourself in deeper connection with your in your relationship, to create that deeper bonding. And as a result of trusting more and being loyal, you will be able to create a more sustainable relationship. So during this full moon for you, Aries, the intimate relationship in terms of your resources and finance is definitely spotlighted. So it's you will have this opportunity during this time to create that common ground where there is more understanding and more acknowledgement of the efforts of people in your life, the relationship that you have in your life, and their effect and influence in your life in terms of intimacy and joint finances. You may also see any kind of inheritance or financial benefit coming your way during this time. There's a possibility of this as well, especially if you have personal planet in the orb near this full moon around 7 degrees of Scorpio. Now with the stellium in Taurus in your 2nd house, you are definitely constantly thinking about how you can earn, how can you improve your earning capabilities, and money and income is definitely on your mind, and you will have this clear picture of how you can go about doing this. Now if you have been saving money for something, you want to make a purchase or something you want to splurge on, it's a good time to do that, so that because material comfort is definitely coming your way and is highlighted during this time. So you can make that purchase that you wanted to make on, splurge yourself, and just treat yourself during this full moon. Now just at the time of this full moon in Scorpio on 27th of April, the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, turns retrograde. So it gives you more clarity into really knowing the truth. The truth is revealed to you almost in that 8th house matter and the axis of 2nd house. So in your money matters, in resources, and in your intimacy, you will know more. You will be able to understand more what's happening. Now during this time, Mars is in the sign of Cancer for you, Aries, and Mars is your ruling planet. So you will have this need for inner peace and inner harmony during this time. You would want to nurture yourself more, and it's a good idea to do that, Aries, because when you have this inner peace and you are nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself, that's when you can really think clearly and take steps to progress and achieve that financial stability. Now next up is Taurus. For you, Taurus, the full moon occurs in your 7th house. Now you have a stellium going on in your 1st house. So there is Sun, there is Mercury, Venus, Uranus, all in your 1st house. So there's a lot of emphasis in between relationship with yourself and relationship with others, with a greater focus on understanding and acknowledging what others have to offer, and also prioritizing your own internal needs and emotions. So you are able to assert your needs a bit more firmly because there's such a Taurus influence during this time. But you get a better understanding of your relationship, of your one-to-one interaction, your ties, and any partnership or contractual business, marriage, anything of that sort. You get a better understanding during this full moon in Scorpio. Now Scorpio rules your 7th house, Taurus. So the relationship, especially one-to-one ties in your life, is definitely based on loyalty, trust, and devotion. And during this full moon in Scorpio, all this is going to get highlighted and more on an intense emotional basis. Now with full moon in the 7th house, you are definitely a bit more dependent on your partner for emotional comfort. In relationship, you also may feel a sense of vulnerability, and there might be a emotional need to be taken care of by your partner. So during this full moon, because there's a stellium in your 1st house, it's also important to look at your own needs by your own self rather than depending too much on your partner. Now during this full, there might be a need to experience your relationship through the other from the other people's point of view. So do try to balance between your relationship with yourself and how you handle it by yourself, and depending on other people for emotional support. Now Mars is in the sign of Cancer during this full moon, and it's in your 3rd house. 3rd house is the house of your siblings. It's the expressive, communicative house. It's a house of your neighborhood and community. So all this will have a part to play in your understanding of your relationship and your emotional sense of self. Now you have Venus and Mercury both in your 1st house in your own sign, Taurus. So you are definitely very passionate and communicative about your own stance. What is your version of what's going on in your life? What is it you want out of your life and how you want to go about? Now relationship is getting fully eliminated, your one-to-one ties, your interactions with others. So do lead with sensitivity and understand other person's stance as well. Now 2021 is a big year for career advancement for Taurus, because you have Saturn and Jupiter both in Aquarius in your 10th house. So it's a great time to make that progress in your career, in your public status, and just your ambitions and goals, whatever you want to achieve. It's a great time to do that. Now these planets in Aquarius is squaring the planets in Taurus during this full moon. So square can be a bit conflicting, but you can always channel this energy more positively, and there's always something good that can come out of any squares that happen. Now you can present yourself or reinvent yourself and present yourself in a new light during this time. and all this effort that you have been putting in your career and your work and your goals and whatever you've been doing even prior to the full moon, all this you will see some result going on later part of the year and just moving forward. So it's important to present yourself in a way that you have this understanding of yourself, your own needs, and the needs of others. So this is a very emotionally heightened time for you, Taurus, and it's good time to initiate connections and interactions that will help you career-wise as well as you move forward in 2021 with this energy. So you can use this full moon to understand relationship on deeper level and form these connections, whether it's contractual or business or anything that can really help you achieve your goals. And you can do all this by sharing of ideas and keeping your own needs in mind, as well as keep finding a balance with your own relationship with yourself and with others. Now for you Geminis, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 6th house. Now 6th house is the house of your daily work. It's a house of your health, your work environment, your lifestyle. So everything that you do on a daily basis, just your day-to-day routine, that's what 6th house represent. Now full moon in Scorpio here really fully illuminates about what's going on in your daily life and what is it, where do you need to make improvements, and where is it you need to release energy if it's not serving you. So if you have any work commitments or jobs that is you're not fully satisfied with, or it's not doing you any favor anymore, it's time to make some changes and move forward with a new energy. So it gives you this opportunity. This full moon in Scorpio is giving you that opportunity to acknowledge if there's anything that's not serving you in your daily routine, or your work environment, or even in your health matters. If there is something that or food habits, if you have been following a regime or health, just generally your health is of concern to you, it's asking you to make those changes, because this full moon is going to give you a greater understanding of what is serving you and what is it that you need in your life to make progress. Now Taurus is the opposite of the 6th house, which is 12th house, and that's where the stellium of planets is occurring in your 12th house. Now Sun is in the 12th house as well, in the sign of Taurus during the full moon, along with Mercury, Venus and Uranus in there. Now what it is asking you is, if you are overworked in your work environment, or if there's a health matter that needs looking into, it's a good idea to practice self-care and take a break and recoup your energy, recharge yourself, and that will help you to acknowledge the larger picture of life regarding your health matters and your work and your self-care, just generally your life energy. Now it's a good time to implement some solid measures and stable measures that can help you in terms of your health and work, your daily life. So it's a good idea to do that. And full moon here will make you understand a bit more on a deeper level, a more on emotional level as well, to make these changes, to acknowledge and understand what is it that you need to move ahead and what is good for you on a daily basis, on health wise and your job wise, and what is your vocation and what is it you want to do. Now with the 6th and 12th house axis of this during this full moon, it's axis of service. So you need to understand, Geminis, that without a healthy body, mind and spirit, you cannot be of service. Whether it's a service to yourself or service to others, you cannot perform your duties and responsibilities well if you're not well within yourself. If you don't have inner well-being and you're not healthy, you cannot perform your duties. So it's very important to keep an eye on your health as well and make changes that need to be made. Now Mars is in the sign of Cancer during this full moon, and it's in your 2nd house of your personal income and personal finance. So it kind of helps you take those steps to improve your personal finance and personal income, and just you're generally making a living, how you make a living, how you earn your living. You get deeper understanding and you're more motivated during this time on a emotional and personal level to make progress during this full moon in terms of your personal finance. Now during this full moon, Geminis, you're definitely feeling a bit more intuitive, and you're more aware of what's happening around you. Because you have a stellium occurring in your 12th house, and your ruling planet Mercury is also in your 12th house during this time. So you're feeling a little bit more intuitive during this time. So it's a good idea to take a step back if things are not serving around this time, and if it's causing any kind of confusion and misunderstanding, or you're not able to get the full picture. It's good to take a step back and just recharge your batteries before you move into the next step in terms of your work and your daily life. So it's a good idea to do that. So the best thing for you Geminis would be during this full moon is to take a break and have a better understanding of what you want in life in terms of your daily routine and daily habits, and you can alter them and change them as per your needs, and whatever is favoring you and whatever is serving you, you can enhance that, and what is not serving you and what is not helping you, you can eliminate that. And this Scorpio full moon will give you that understanding and clarity to take these steps. For you Cancer, the full moon occurs in your 5th house. Now 5th house is the house of fun. It's the house of recreation. It's a very creative, artistic house, and it's also the house of your children. So full moon occurring here is giving you that understanding, the deeper understanding in these matters, and it's giving you a clarity. It's really time to release any stuck energies where these matters are concerned. Now for you Cancer, your 5th house is Scorpio, so it's a very passionate sign, and it's a very passionate house. So if there's anything that in your life, especially in terms of your fun side of the life and your passions and your artistic, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, change that and do something that is more playful and more passion that you really feel more deeply about. So it's important to indulge in activities that really gets your heart racing and really brings out the passionate and that happy and expressive side of you Cancer. So do focus on your hobbies and any personal interest that you have during this time, and give time to these themes in your life, and it's a good time to relax. This way you will be able to relax as well and connect with your environment. Now if you have children, it's a great time to take them out and indulge in fun activities with them during this full moon. So you will feel a little bit more relaxed and rejuvenated, and a little bit that inner passion and inner child will emerge during this time if you indulge yourself in activities that is delightful. Now Mars is in the sign of Cancer in your 1st house during this full moon, so it's a good idea to channel this energy in a more constructive way for Cancer. Now this might have a tendency to be dramatic and very powerful. It's a very powerful placement, so you might have the tendency to be more emotional and impulsive during this time. So don't be reckless during this time, and channel this energy in a way that you are considering the passions and feelings of people in your relationship, and just yourself as well, your own emotional self. Now during this full moon, there is a stellium occurring in the sign of Taurus, and which is your 11th house. Now 11th house is the house of your social circle. It's the house of your friends and your peers. So you might be a bit preoccupied with shared interest and getting involved in a group activities which are on the same wavelength as you. So that's a good idea to do during this full moon, because that's where a strong energy, strong influence is during this time. Now moon is your ruling planet Cancer, and in the sign of Scorpio during this full moon, it's making you very nurturing and very intuitive. So do something that you will cherish and something that brings joy to you. Now, if you're getting involved in any group activities or projects, or there's something that's inspiring you, whether it's interacting through blogs or with your audience and online, so it's a really good idea. So it will really put you in the forefront, and people watching you will really adore you during this time. So it's a good idea to do that, Cancer. And if anything, there is something that you've been thinking about to start, or it's a good idea to do that as well during this full moon. So do focus on your personal desire and passions, and if you're trying to bring that out through a group activity or even online activity, or social media and blog, it's a great idea to do that. Now, this full moon will definitely make the connections more deeper and will solidify any interactions that you have. And if you're doing it with full passion and with happiness and joy, you will see in your wider audience and the world at large, they will see that side of you and they will really appreciate you. So during this full moon, Cancer, do indulge in creative projects and what you're passionate about, but do it with a bit of fun and delight and inner passion. Just bring out that inner creativity and inner passion in whatever you're trying to do. So for you Leos, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 4th house. Now, 4th house is your domestic house. It's the house of your family environment, home environment, your emotional comfort and your emotional self, where you feel most comfortable in. Now, full moon here in the sign of Scorpio in your 4th house, what it does is it gives you a sense of finding that emotional stability and that security in your home environment. That's what you're looking for during this full moon. And if it's by finding, and if that helps by putting down your roots and purchasing a house and moving in with your family, there's an opportunity to do that. So during this full moon, you have a great inclination and need to nurture and nourish yourself in the most sincere way, the way you want to do it to to yourself and to your home environment. So you are very much involved in spending more time with the family and bonding them with them and connecting with them, whether it's your anybody in your immediate environment and surroundings. You're very much interested in creating a more emotional, more deeper connection and understanding with them. Now, Taurus is your 10th house, and there's a stellium occurring during this full moon in Taurus. So there is the sun, which is opposite the moon, and along with that there is Venus and Mercury and Uranus all sitting in your 10th house. Now, you are very definitely has this focus on your career, and the things are changing in your career for a few years now, and it will keep changing. There will be need to really turn things around in your career, and you probably are doing that already, Leos. Now, with this full moon in the 4th house, it's important to also find a balance between both your 4th house and your 10th house, and which is your home and your work life. So your career, whatever you're aspiring to do, you are focused on that, but it's important to balance it with your home environment. And during this full moon, you will realize this need, you will acknowledge this need to do that, because things will be more clear and you will understand the needs of people in your family. What are their needs? What are the expectations of you? You will have that understanding, and you will have this a serious need, serious inclination, serious desire to make that change and to provide and to be present to fulfill these needs and expectations of people in your family environment. It's also a good time during this full moon to do things that is related to home. So spend time at home, relax and rest and connect with people, and just take a break if you can from your work, or if you can't take a break, just turn your focus more towards your home environment during this time, and just relax and just have that understanding of that the needs of home and people in home environment is also, they also need you and they need your time. So do dedicate that time that they deserve during this time, Leo. So this full moon in Scorpio, Leos, you will have this understanding of balancing, how to balance your home and work life, and also understand where you're heading in life, which direction you are going. And you can only do that, you can only achieve your ambitions and goal if you are able to balance your fourth house energy and your home environment and your emotional comfort, your emotional self, because fourth house is your emotional self as well. It is your home and family environment and people in your home, but it's also to do with your own sense of emotional comfort. So if you're able to be emotionally more comfortable with what you are doing, you'll be able to head properly in whichever direction, whatever your goals are, whatever destination you're trying to reach, you'll be able to get there if you can balance both the energies. Now for you Virgos, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your third house. Now third house is a very expressive house. It's a house of communication. It's also the house of your community, your local environment, your neighbors. It's a house of sharing ideas and information and of short journeys and just generally what's happening in your locality. So during this full moon, you will develop a greater understanding and rapport in these areas. So you will be able to, your communication will come to the forefront. Your relationship with your surrounding and people in your area, in your neighborhood, you will be able to develop a better rapport with them during this full moon. Now Sun is in the ninth house in the sign of Taurus during this full moon, and it's opposite to the sign of Scorpio. There is a stellium in Taurus. Along with Sun, there is Venus, Mercury, and Uranus in your ninth house. So what it's asking you to do is to understand your opinions and ideas and whatever your thought process is, and also look for the larger perspective, your philosophy in life. Try to expand that and explore more options. What is it that's beyond your locality? What is it that you want to achieve in the larger picture of life? So look at your belief system and what is it that what is your meaning of life? Now, for you Virgos, in the year 2021, there's a great emphasis on your work environment and your daily work and your daily life, because there is Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius in your sixth house. Now, you have full moon in the third house, which is a house of interviews and job interviews. So if you have given any interviews, or if you're planning to give, or if you're waiting for any results, you might see some result relating to that. So this will give you an opportunity to change anything that is not serving you in your work environment as well. Now, what is it you want from your life, Virgos? What is your philosophy? Where do you see yourself heading? So you need to keep all this in mind and acknowledge anything that is not serving you in your daily life. So it's a good idea to make these changes, because there's a good emphasis on your expression and your way of speaking and your style of communicating, and you have this really good sextiling energy in the sign of Scorpio for you Virgos to emphasize yourself more intensely and more productively and more constructively during this time. So you might be able to communicate and ask for or change or talk your way into a job, or improve your work conditions through your communication skill. Now, if you're getting involved in any kind of projects or ideas that you have not dealt with before or is very foreign to you, it's a good idea to grapple your mind around it and see what you can achieve from it, and this will help you grow, because with this Taurus stellium in the ninth house, through this third house matter, you will be able to explore and expand your mind, and your mindset, your thinking and your philosophies will get a reboot, and a more understanding of what is it, what is your thinking, what is your thought process, and what is it that you want to achieve, and how do you want to achieve this, will get fully illuminated, the full clarity and great understanding during this full moon. Now, with this Taurus stellium in the 9th house, which is the house of mentorship and teachers and gurus in your life, and with Mars in Cancer in 11th house, which is your social circle, so you might come across people in your life that is ready to, people who are senior to you, or people who are more, people you value in life in terms of their what they have to offer in life, their, people that inspire you. They might be come around to help you and support you achieve your goals and vision during this time. So do use your communication and how you share information and how you process information to have a greater understanding of your own belief system and own philosophies in life. And if you have people, senior people who are there to support and help you in a project or something you want to take up, or you're taking up, even if you have not done that before, it will really help you in your work environment, and you will in your day-to-day activities. If you're feeling stressed out in your job, or if it's moving slowly, it's good to ask for this help and support, and use your communications skill, communicate what you need, you need to assert your needs to get that help to achieve your goals and ambition and to move forward, Virgos. Now, for you Libras, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 2nd house. Now, 2nd house is the house of your resources, of your personal income. It's the house of your values, and it's also your food habit. So full moon here will give you a bit more understanding about how you can use your capabilities to increase your personal finance, and how you can use your value system, how you value yourself, and what opinion and value you have of yourself, how to use that to expand your sources of income, and indulge in more new ways of income. So you will get a deeper understanding of your capabilities in terms of making money. Now, Taurus is the opposite house to the 2nd house, which is in the 8th house during this full moon for you Libras. Now, there is a stellium occurring during this full moon in Taurus, and it's with the sun, which is opposite the moon, and along with that there is Mercury, Venus and Uranus in your 8th house. Now, your 8th house is the house of your joint finances. It's the house of your intimacy and your shared resources. So there is a change, a transformation, a change, revolution occurring for a couple of years now in that house for you. Now, during this time, you will have a greater acknowledgement of resources, what is yours and what is theirs, what is your partner, spouses. So you'll have a greater understanding of that, and you will also be able to pay off a debt or something if that's something that has been holding you back. Now, with this 8th house, there is a focus on the joint finances, on how you invest together, how you use each other to enhance your resources. So all this is coming into focus as well. So you will have a greater understanding of how to take that forward. You might also make an investment going forward which will be beneficial in future. So there's a possibility of profit and coming about a lump sum of money or cash with this full moon energy. Now, this will occur only if you have personal planets in that Scorpio zone, which is from 7 degrees Scorpio. If you have personal planets near this degree, then you will feel this more intensely and more emotionally. So so you need to see that. So do focus on coming together and unification of resources and investment through that. So if you are planning to invest together, or if you're planning to invest with your spouse, or if you've got any business partner, it's a good time to look at all these energies, because you will have a greater understanding of the financial dynamics in your relationship and what are the resources that you can invest. So you will have a greater understanding. Now, if there's anything that has been kept under secret from you, and it's were not aware of it in the past, all this thing will come to the surface, and you will have kind of a revelation will happen in these areas. So that will give you a greater clarity of what you should be doing with your finances and your joint finances, and how you should be investing, if you should be investing at all. Now, with finances comes a factor of trust and understanding with the other person. Now, it's a good time to recognize the effort of other people in your life, and if they are contributing in your life, then it's a good idea to acknowledge that. So tap into your own personal power and vulnerability when you're coming together with other people in where joint interest, financial interests are concerned. Now, Mars is in the sign of Cancer in your 10th house during this full moon, Libras. So you will have a need or inclination to be noticed, and you would be a bit intuitive about it. Now, Cancer, this full moon is in a harmony with this Cancer energy, Mars in Cancer energy. So with the 2nd house and 10th house energy, you would want to acknowledge what your personal finance is through your career and your vocation, whatever you're doing in life. So if there is you feel an need for enhancement, or need to change your job to increase your personal income, it's a good time to do that, or think about it and understand what are your options and go from there. Now, Libras, full moon is also a time for being thankful and to acknowledge what you have achieved in life, and what the people are in your life who are contributing to your life. So this full moon will throw light on your personal finances, your circumstances, and even help you grow in that area. So do acknowledge what you have gained and attained and developed all these time prior to this full moon, and appreciate that and go from there. Now, for you Scorpios, the full moon occurs in your 1st house. Now, in your 1st house, it's absolutely a great time for you Scorpios. So what will happen is your own sense of self will get illuminated. So you'll have greater understanding and clarity regarding your own path and your own life, and what is the destiny, what is it you want to achieve. So it all will get you'll get more understanding, and you will be able to acknowledge and move forward with this clarity during this full moon, Scorpios. Now, Taurus is the 7th house for you Scorpios, and there is a stellium occurring during this full moon. So there is Sun that is opposite the moon during this time, as well as there's Mercury, Venus, and Uranus. So you have been experiencing this overhaul and change and transformation in your relationships for a few years now, Scorpios. Now, during this time, it's important to refocus the energies on yourself. Now, balance is always required and is the best way forward, but it's also important to understand what's your own need are, what is your own emotional needs, what is it that you want, what are your expectation of your own self, and obviously balance it out with expectations of other people of you and yours of other people. So in your life, whatever is in your one-to-one interaction, your partnership, business, personal, both. So it's important to acknowledge your own needs, and during this time move forward with that greater understanding of your own self. Now, Mars is in the sign of Cancer during this full moon, which is in harmony to Scorpios, because both are water signs. And Mars is in your 9th house. So with 9th house, you will probably feel a need and an inclination to expand your horizon And this could be wanting to travel abroad, or even to learn higher things, go for higher learning, and just maybe read a book, or take a course that really expands your mind. And this will really help you to have a greater understanding and deeper understanding of your own self, Scorpios. Now, all this exploration of your own belief system and charting new directions and new paths, and this higher learning, that you are indulging in of your own self and your environment, all this will help you in choosing or deciding on the direction you want to go from here. What is your true calling? What is the path you want to take in this life moving forward? What is your destiny in this world, Scorpios? It will give you an understanding of what you need to do to move that forward, and how you want to project and present yourself. All this will help you during this full moon, and it's a good idea to use this opportunity to move in this direction. Now, it's a great time to really talk about what your skills and capabilities are. Don't be shy about it, and do collaborate with people, like-minded people in your social group, or projects, or just generally people you want to collaborate with, who you are on the same wavelength with. So do that, and put yourself forward, put your what your abilities are, put that forward, and people will acknowledge that, and they will see what you're made of, and this will help you moving forward and reinventing yourself. And this will also help you to balance your relationship with other people. Now, your relationship with others you will have a greater a different perspective in terms of how your one-to-one interaction works. So don't be stubborn and not listen to other people, what they have to offer. Do listen to them and do acknowledge what they have to offer. Do keep your own interest in mind and your emotional needs. Do balance it with your relationship, and it could be personal or business. So do that and move forward with greater understanding of your own needs, to expand your philosophy in life, so that you can move forward and achieve your goals and ambition, whatever you have. Now, this super full moon in Scorpio in your first house will definitely give you a greater self-realization and self-awareness, Scorpios. You will really understand yourself and your needs. So it's important to use this opportunity, this time, to really lay the path of where you want to go. Now, if you have been putting effort in these areas already in terms of your goal and ambition, and you have been working towards it, obviously this full moon will help you to propel in that direction much faster. But even if you have not been doing that, it's a good time to start that and do lay down whatever plans you have and work on that, and you will see how the energy shifts and how your relationship with yourself improves as you understand what your needs are. So there is definitely an awakening coming in your life, Scorpios, and this greater realization of yourself will definitely make other people notice you and appreciate you and acknowledge your strengths and capabilities. For you, Sagittarius, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 12th house. Now, the 12th house is a house of subconscious, of your unconscious mind. It's a house of spirituality. It's a house of solitude and isolation, where you want to take a break and move away from worldly things and recharge yourself and recoup yourself. It's a house of your old patterns as well. So it's a full moon occurring in your 12th house will give you a break from the old patterns and past patterns. It will give you closure, and it will really make you resilient as well to move on from what is holding you back. Now, during this time, Sagittarius, because full moon is in your 12th house, and 12th house is a hidden house, so it's a good idea to practice self-care and bring that inner peace within you, so that you can use this energy, and after recharging yourself, you can move forward onto your goals and ambition, whatever you want to achieve. So it's a good idea to focus this time more on understanding what your inner needs are, what your subconscious needs are, and move towards the more spiritual side of yourself during this time. Now, Taurus is your 6th house, which is opposite to the 12th house, and that's where the sun is during this full moon. So there is a stellium occurring in the sign of Taurus during this full moon. So with the sun, there is Mercury, Venus, and Uranus, all these planets in your 6th house. Now, for a few years now, Sagittarius, you have been experiencing a sort of revamp and rebooting in your daily life, in your work life, in your just daily routine, what you do on a daily basis. You have been experiencing change. It has been sudden and reformative, and really transformative changes has been happening, and it's no different now. So it's important to take a little break from what's happening in your work life and just daily life. If it's overwhelming you, just take a break during this full moon, and just spend some time in solitude, and so that you can rejuvenate yourself and recharge your batteries and think what you want to do. Find that inner peace during this time and that solitude, so that you can think over what you want to do. Now, Mars is in Cancer during this full moon, and it's in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is about your investment and your joint finances. So during this time, you will have this situation where you are handling issues regarding these intimate matters and your joint finances with your partner, and learning to trust more and bond more and connect more on these areas. Now, this full moon will give you an understanding, if you are able to use this energy to understand any kind of emotional turmoil that it brings during this time. So you will have a deeper understanding of how to handle the life situations, whether it's related to your work, whether it's related to your joint finances, your intimate relationship with your partner. This full moon will give you a greater understanding and clarity to understand these circumstances in your life, Sagittarius. So it's a good idea to take a break, Sagittarius, during this time. Like, genuinely take a break. Sagittarius, your usual nature is to keep exploring and moving and achieving and just experiencing things all the time. But it's a good idea to take a break during this time and understand what you want to do. So relax yourself, take a break, and think what you want to do. Now, if you have any worries regarding your past or your work situation, or how you will move forward in terms of your goals and ambition, don't worry about that. If you take this time to think over and plan how you want to take your life forward, it will really help you. Now, with all the 6th house energy occurring during this time, you have been putting a lot of work and effort in the past, and you've recently, or in recent times, you may have experienced where there has been a sudden change in your work, or you have stopped working, or resigned or moved away from your job. So it's a good idea to use this time to think about what you want to do, and what is it really that fulfills you and satisfies you, Sagittarius. So do something that you intrinsically feel motivated to do and you're really passionate about. So take steps in that direction, Sagittarius. Capricorn, for you, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 11th house. Now, Scorpio is a very emotionally intelligent sign. So you have this energy in your 11th house. You feel very emotionally intelligent and want a deeper connection within your social network. So during this full moon, you will have this great opportunity to connect with your social group more on a deeper level, and you will be able to collaborate with people during this time who have a more sense of integrity and loyalty towards you, and towards whom you have a sense of loyalty and integrity. So this full moon will give you an understanding of what is it you want to do, your future, what's your hopes and wishes, what are you passionate about, and where do you want to take your life, what are your future projects, how do you want to do that. So this will give you an understanding. Now Taurus is your 5th house, Capricorn, and there's a stellium occurring there. Now you have sun there because that's opposite the moon during this full moon, and along with that there is Venus, Mercury and Uranus. Now you have been going through a overhaul for a few years now regarding your 5th house matters, and that is your self-expression, your creativity. What are you passionate about? What is it you are truly interested in, and what is it you want to do in life? So this time it's a good time to understand what your hopes and wishes are. You will have an understanding and desire and inclination to move these things forward. So find a balance between what is you're passionate about with your future projects and move forward. So use what your personal interests are to achieve these hopes and wishes, and you will be able to do well in terms of achieving your goals for the future if you are able to balance these energies. Now do use your creativity and artistic self and your self-expression and your passions when you're coming in contact with people, whether it's online or in your social group, or people with whom you want to connect in the future and collaborate. So use your creativity and show your skills and your passions, and lead with your personal desire for some sort of enjoyment in life, rather than just toiling in your work and not feeling appreciated in that area. Lead by what delights you, what makes you happy, Capricorn. Now Mars is in the sign of Cancer during this full moon, and it's in your 7th house. Now 7th house is the house of other people. So during this time you will feel a bit intuitively connected, or find people who see your true self, your deeper self. They will see the potential in you during this time. So with this 11th house and 7th house and 5th house energy during this full moon, it's a good idea to use your passion and creativity to connect with people for future projects, because other people that you connect with, whether it's in business environment, contractual, or even personal rapport that you build with other people, they will see the potential in you and they will invest in you, because they will see what you're made of. And if you show it with more of your passion and how you are creatively inclined and what you can offer, people will see that and they will appreciate. Now all work and no play is not good either, so it's also important to use your hobbies to relax during this full moon, and be more playful. If you have children, spend time with them and indulge in fun activities, relax, and take it easy, and then use this energy to plan what you want to achieve in future. Aquarius, for you the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 10th house. Now 10th house is the house of your career, of your public status, of your vocation, and what you want to achieve in this world. What is your ambitions and goals? Now there's a Taurus stellium occurring in the opposite house, which is the 4th house to the 10th house, and you have, along with the sun, which is opposite the moon, there is Venus and Mercury and Uranus in your 4th house. Now you've been experiencing an overhaul for a few years now where your home environment is concerned. You're going through a change in perspective where your 4th house, your family environment is concerned. You are shifting your focus from your career matters more to your home environment, and what does security and home life and stability and emotional comfort means for you, Aquarius. So that's what you are focusing on during this time. And this full moon in the 10th house will give you a bit more understanding of how you want to present yourself in terms of your fame and your public status. What is it that you want to achieve? So it's a good idea to rethink your strategy, how you want to feel appreciated and how you want to be recognized for your achievements. and find a balance with your home environment. Now you are definitely very focused on your home turf as well, so finding this balance and how you want to present both aspects in your life, how you want to balance it, it's a good idea. You will have a greater clarity regarding this matter. Is it just career for you, or home life and security is also important for you, Aquarius? So you are definitely balancing these energies out for a few years now, and during this full moon you'll get a great understanding of what is it you really want to do and what is it you should do in terms of understanding the expectation of your family and your own expectation. Now Mars is in Cancer during this full moon, and it's in your 6th house, which is the house of your health and daily activities. So it's a good idea to focus some of your energies in these matters and improve anything you need to improve in your daily habits, what your daily habits are. If you want to change or improve anything, it's a good opportunity to do that, because with this full moon in Scorpio and Mars in Cancer, it's a harmonious aspect, and you will understand and have the opportunity to change and release any stuck energies in terms of your health and well-being and your daily routine, how you want to take things forward. Now Aquarius, Saturn and Jupiter are in your 1st house, so you are going through this period of reinvention, of rethinking what is it that you want to achieve and what is your life path. So you have these energies during this full moon when you have focus on your home environment and your career matters with your daily habits and how you reinvent yourself and how you see yourself in the future, how you see what is your life path and what is your destiny going forward. So you can use this full moon energy to have a greater understanding of what is your path, what is it you want to be recognized for, and what are your ambitions going forward. So any public recognition that comes your way during the full moon, Aquarius, it's will be more sweet and more fruitful for you, and you'll feel more value in it if you are balancing it with your family life, and you are more stable and more secure, feeling more emotionally secure. And this full moon will give you that deeper understanding and emotional needs of your own life path and your own what is it you want to take, how do you want to take your life forward from here, and balancing it out with the needs and expectation of your family life. For Pisces, the full moon in Scorpio occurs in your 9th house. And the 9th house is about belief system. It's about your philosophy in life. What is your meaning of life? That's what 9th house is about. It's also about foreign travels, anything to do with foreign things, different cultures, interacting with people from different cultures, also higher learning, and just expanding and exploring and expanding your horizon. So with the full moon in the 9th house, what's happening is you're getting a understanding of your own belief system. It's you're acknowledging your belief system, and if there is anything that needs changing, or you are going through this transformation in your belief system, and you're releasing any stuck energies. If there's anything that is holding you back and is limiting you, it's time to change that perspective, your perspective of life, and your morality, your moral codes, your belief system, your faith. Yeah, it's going through a transformation during this Scorpio full moon. Now the Taurus sign is on the opposite of the 9th house, which is in the 3rd house. Now there's a stellium occurring during this full moon in Taurus. So along with Sun, which is opposite the moon, there is also Venus, Mercury and Uranus in your 3rd house. Now for you Pisces, for a few years now there has been overhaul going on in terms of your local locality. Now maybe you're moving a lot, you are changing cities, you're moving around cities, your locality, you haven't settled yet, or you are wanting to settle but you haven't done that yet, and interacting with your any close ties. Now that is all going through a transformation and change, and it's going through a reboot. Now, during this full moon, you'll get an understanding of how to balance these energies and how to plan what is it you want to achieve, what is it you want for yourself in the future, where do you want to take your life path. Now, it's a good idea to acknowledge and develop your sense of self and your wisdom. And when you're interacting with people in your area, in your environment, it's important to balance it with your own expectation of what is it you want to achieve in future. Now, if there is any kind of stuck energy limiting you in terms of exploring and expanding your horizon, it's time to release these energies and let it go and move forward with the renewed energy and transformed energy of the Scorpio full moon. Now, you may feel a bit of a pull and push in terms of staying in one place and wanting to explore. So it's important to understand what are your expectations from the connections that you have, and how do you want to go forward. What are your future plans and what are your ambitions? What do you want to go forward with, Pisces? So use your sense of self and your inner emotional needs that you have and educate yourself and exert your needs and what your future is, how you want to move forward, so you have a more well-rounded understanding of where you want to go, and be true to yourself, whatever it is. Now, since the full moon in 9th house really reboots and exposes whatever the stuck energy is, it will change your life direction if that's what you're looking for. If you don't know where you want to go, and you're being stuck in your locality and your local environment, and you don't know how to explore and expand your horizon, and you don't know what the future holds, this full moon will give you a clarity and a greater understanding of what is it that you want to do, and how do you want to go forward, what is it you want to achieve in life, and what is your life direction from now onwards. So you will have that understanding, and you will be able to acknowledge and use this opportunity to move in that direction, Pisces. Now, any kind of uncertainty and confusion or emotional baggage that you might have will be released, and you will just have a understanding of how you want to achieve your goals, how you want to reach your goals, and what do you want to do. If you're confused about what is it you want to do, if you don't have that clear understanding, or if there are any misunderstandings as well in your thought process, it will be released, and you can use this opportunity to understand your own needs and your own future. Now, Mars is in the sign of Cancer in your 5th house, Pisces, and Cancer has a harmonizing aspect to your sign, Pisces. So Cancer and Pisces both are water sign, so it's a more helping and supportive energy of Mars in Cancer for you. So in your 5th house, it's a great time to devote your energies in things that you enjoy and that brings you happiness and delights you. So use this your inner child and inner creativity to do something you're passionate about, and do it in a way that you feel satisfied, fulfilled, and happy. So explore any hobbies that you have, and any passions that you had, any creative passion, personal interest that you have. Explore these areas. You will have a high inclination and a high drive to do these things during this time, Pisces, for you. Now, with full moon in the 9th house and Taurus stellium in the 3rd house, both are the 9th and 3rd house is the axis of learning. So if you want to learn something new, whether it's creative or just exploring and expanding your mindset and knowledge level, it's a great time to do that. You can initiate something, and you will understand and have that plan for the future. What is it you want to do? So you can learn something in that direction. Maybe you can do an online course or something more short course, like a short course, online short course, and this will help you, just use your creative energies to do things that it brings you joy, Pisces. So overall, during this full moon, Pisces, you will have a great understanding of your own life path and life direction, and you can explore and use your creative energies and passions to understand and take life forward. And you will have this help and support also of your local environment and people in your area, and you will also get the support and you will be connected with the right people as well to help you understand what is it you want to do, and your whole life philosophy will get a greater clarity during this time, and you will be able to take that steps and move your life in the new direction that you want to take. Thank you for watching my full moon in Scorpio video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was of value, and you can use this energy and the information to understand what you can expect during the second half of April. Please do like my videos and subscribe to my channel.